truth, my advice is stop and listen. You've got what it takes to do what you do, so don't let them blind your vision. We've seen fewer far between. At the bar, a queen could be a starving teen. So live up to what you plan to be.
The more that I go on with it, the more that I know that it's the path for me, because I feel such a love for it. It's unbelievable sometimes.
Ballet has lots of detail, and it's harder kind of than other dances.
It is a difficult thing to do, but at the end of the day, it's always very rewarding to get something basically out of your mind.
It's a pretty great feeling because you just see it and you're like, wow, wow, and it's getting better every time I carve it, wow. Yeah.
Just kind of the mystery of the poles. I mean, how many people have been to the poles, and it's some of the greatest landmass on Earth.
Just give me a big hunkin' piece of wood and I'll carve it. I love it. Love being covered in all those wood chips.
My dad calls me Hurricane Jody. I'm either on the bottom of the world or the top of the world doing something.
Before I got into carving, I was working jobs, and they were good, good money. But I only liked them. I didn't really love them. My heart wasn't in it. I can do the work, and I was like one of the best workers on the job site most of the time, or in the kitchen. But just got to the point where I just wasn't having fun, wasn't feeling it anymore. I'd go into work and the money was good, but it was just like, blah, I have to sit here for the money and I don't even want to be here, and then I finally found carving.
And I think that, change has happened slowly, but I think it's been proven in the past that, one person can make a hell of a difference.
Ballet is a combination of being athletic and artistic.
Really fun, and you get to learn a lot about your culture.
My culture, I'm Teltan, and how carvings relate to culture is they tell a story, and they show you ways that to embrace yourself and to embrace your culture. Like a frog, it shows strength. Like the killer whale, that shows like flowing with the path.
I think it's so exciting when you hear a story about how a conservation effort has had a positive impact on a place, like how a mining company, for example, has mined responsibly and hasn't affected migrating caribou in an area.
What really excites me about industrial design and mechanical CAD is the ability to take something from your imagination and make it real.
When you're looking at the design and you see it there, it looks so simple when you're looking at it without being carved yet, and then all of a sudden when it's completely done, you're like, wow, I made a totally 3D image.
I guess kind of my goal is to get people to care about the poles. Even though you're not there on a day-to-day basis, it's the actions that we have in the world as a whole that really have an impact on the poles.
It's up to the point where it's actually feels like an extension of my hand. I put a knife in my hand and I can carve any little way.
I want to try to get into a company.
It's all about just finding your groove in whatever you're doing.
If you're passionate about something, just go for it. I think, you only live once, and what's the worst that can happen?
I think ballet is is good for your health because it keeps you strong and active.